literally change your life in a positive way forever. Now, it's Mike Lindell's exclusive 3-layered design. It includes MyPillow foam for support, transitional foam to help relieve pressure points, and ultra soft patented temperature regulating cover. I now sleep better and better and better every night. It also has a 10-year warranty, and it's a cover that's washable and dryable, made in the USA, and of course backed by Mike Lindell's 60-day money-back guarantee. And right now you can save 30% when you go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code Hannity, or mention my name when you call 800-919-6090. And by the way, Mike will give you 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Call now, 800-919-6090. MyPillow.com, promo code Hannity.
Find out more about how you can help to improve our air quality. Get today's air quality forecast and the extended forecast. Help preserve the air you breathe for you and your family. You need it to live, and you use it every day. MahoneyValleyAir.org. Information for your future.
Art Bell is back.
This is Art Bell. Welcome back.
Saturday nights at 9.
You're hearing 570 WKBN Youngstown.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and they let us do this here on Saturdays where we open up this whole media for talking about things that are happening in science and technology, things that are happening. So you're free to call us and text us all program long if you have any questions or comments along the way. We sort of set this up in the very beginning. We had this market that was sort of shy when it came to technology. And, you know, I thought it was, especially our grandparents and people who are older than us, if they didn't warm up to the technology, they were going to be really at a big disadvantage. And all younger people thought that technology was fun and exciting and a useful tool. And it's that separation between those generational, hesitations. Is why we started doing this. We embraced the older crowd and we gave them a little confidence, and we gave them, a little bit of a urging to get their hands dirty, because it is a lot of fun to play and delve into this territory. And from the very inception, we had people from the very beginning said, "Hey, I'm a neophyte. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an idiot. I don't know. Right? That's what the entire marketplace said over and over again. And we just kept forging forward and kept layering on the knowledge and kept answering the most basic of basic questions the entire program long from the very inception. And we took a lot of people from knowing absolutely nothing to, where they're at right now, where they buy their own stuff. They don't really need to ask questions. And now they kind of pay that information forward to other people. And that's the propagation of knowledge, that I believe in. And I think that it takes all forms. But this media lends itself to being able to help each other out because there's always going to be someone behind you and there's always going to be someone ahead of you. And if we could just let the people who are ahead of you help the ones behind, it becomes that kind of chain. And you'll never run out of information to be able to propagate either. So there will always be something that, the industry's so big and the specializations are so vast that you'll never run out of things to learn and know. So it's not it's hard to make ego in this industry because you never know everything. You have to almost find people who are better at you than all kinds of different specialties so that you can tackle big problems together. And, we use the language and we do it in a way that, helps you make connections with these things that you're touching. Because a lot of you, what will happen is you'll buy a computer and you'll plug it in and you'll use it like an appliance. And you'll really never know what that thing is doing. So you take a lot of it for granted. You don't know what it can do because you don't know what it is. You just kind of see what other people are doing it. So if you buy a $1,000 appliance to get you on the internet, what's the difference between a $1,000 computer and a $200 computer? I'll tell you, it's annoying. It's in my industry, it is so annoying when you walk up and want to say, I want to buy a computer. What's the first thing they ask you? What are you going to use it for, right? To you, that's annoying. To me, that's annoying. Even to me, when I ask the question to people, it is the single most important piece of information I need to qualify you into a piece of equipment that you're going to need. And you don't have the answer to it. You don't know. I want my computer to do everything. Really? You want to take over the space shuttle? Do you want to do video capture? Do you want to do audio editing? Do you want to just get on the internet? Do you want to check your email? Do you want to play video games? Do you want to do desktop publishing and putting bulletins together? All of this stuff, when you think about it from a technical standpoint, each one of those things offers a complication the computer hardware and software is needed to be able to solve. So if you get on the internet is the basics where every computer that I've ever walked up to could get on the internet, right? You don't need anything special. A browser and enough memory and storage space to host a browser, which is not that much. Usually if you're struggling to get on the internet on a computer and you're like, my internet's so slow, it's because your computer's so garbaged up that it can't even do the most basic thing that it was designed to do. And so, that is, Chromebooks, for instance. You hear me going over and over again with especially our older crowd that Chromebooks are perfect for them. Why? Because all they do is get on the internet. They go to the internet, they open Chrome, they go to websites, and that's all they do. They go to Facebook, they check their email with their Gmail account, just on a browser. So I want to throw as little money at computers as I possibly can that accomplishes the job. So I can buy an i7 laptop, right, that costs $1,500. And then get on the internet with it, when I can get a Chromebook and get on that same internet at the same speed and go to the same web pages for all that less money. And that's why that qualifying question of what the heck you're going to do with it. You got to know that answer before you go there, because what ends up happening is you don't have the answer. So the person who sells it to you is going to kind of cover their butt that you're not going to get home and start doing something that you didn't tell them about. And so they're going to sell you sort of like the standard, what gets most people by. And the problem with that is engineers can pretty much engineer any outcome. And that's what salespeople do in the computer field. They find out what you're going to do with it and find out the piece of hardware that accomplishes that. Well, there are computers that are designed not necessarily for power, but mobility. And there's some that are designed for battery life. So a guy that travels and he wants the computer to last on a 12-hour flight to Hong Kong isn't going to be concerned about the speed at which it processes game information. He's going to be concerned about how few electrons can it go push through its wiring so that it can do something like write a letter or answer an email on a 12-hour flight and the battery lasts forever, right? So each one of these things gets engineered for a different situation. And so in your case, if you're a gamer, right, that requires some equipment to play games. If you're like I said, you're into graphics design and development. We do a lot of streaming. So we do video compressions. And it's not necessarily, I can pretty much work on video in any environment, right? But if you get me in a computer that doesn't have enough memory and I have to do video, it's maddening, right? I don't even want to be working on it. So the equipment that's in front of us has to be sort of created for what we have in mind, what we do. So a lot of you that just go buy a computer and sat in front of a salesperson and didn't know what you did with your computer, got sold a computer that covered the salesman's butt, that it'll pretty much do everything you're asking, and you probably overbought a little bit. Now, let me tell you this. I really hate that you, as the consumer, have to spend so much bloody money on computers. I mean, we should really be able to figure out what a cost of ownership is on our technology and know how long something lasts. And, really repairing those things shouldn't be a thing. It's going to be commoditized to a certain level. Okay, so when I first got into this, we had this idea that we were buying all these really expensive computers, and most of us weren't using all of the resources. So why were we all buying these you didn't have a cheap version of them. So to us, it was like you have expensive or you have nothing. So you buy expensive, so you have one, but you still have expensive. And we were thinking, like, what about dumb terminals? What if we just had terminals that couldn't do much of anything except for deliver limited resources to someone who needed limited capacity? Right. And that was an idea we had back before, this was Pentium 200s or Pentium 133s when we started thinking about, dumbing things down for people who didn't need a whole lot of power. Now, through the cloud, you've seen that's where this thing naturally went anyway. So your cloud computing means that you put your data up in this ether, right? So you walk up to a computer and you log into Microsoft Word and your documents are there. You go to work and you log into your Microsoft Word and your documents are there. It's not sitting on the local hard drive. I mean, technically it's there, but if I set fire to your computer tomorrow and blew it up, your data would still be on the other computer when you go there, which means we're sort of we're untethering ourselves from pieces of equipment. Now, when you untether yourself from a piece of equipment, that means that you don't have to repair it anymore. You can literally make the cheapest version of that piece of equipment that you can tolerate, and you're not exposing your stuff to harm, right? The reason we want computers to last 10 years is because we hate the fact that we have to reload a computer. We hate the fact that we got to back up our data. We hate all of these things to such a level we're willing to, spend more money for equipment we're not going to use just for in the hope that it lasts long enough that we don't have to do that again. But that's all painful. You don't want to ever have to deal with a company like Youngstown Computer, right? You don't want to. You don't come in and say, hey, you know what? I haven't seen you guys in a while. Let's, transfer my data. Right? You're on the pursuit of, we preach proactive. So I know a lot of you have gone along with that. When you don't need us, you still pipe up because you're being good proactive, good proactive people. But most of you will only deal with me when you have a big problem. And that's what I'm saying. Like the further we get towards dumb terminals and cloud spaces, the less fearful we are. Like, okay, so let's just say everything about you, your desktop, your documents, your movies, your music, let's just say that it all rides around on the internet. So you walk up to a computer, you log into the Universal U account, and then all your stuff is there no matter what computer in the world that you walk up to. So you got a computer sitting on your desk right now, and you log in and it says, oh, I'm broken. What do you do? Do you take it and get repaired? Or is it just like the other thousands of pieces of equipment that are out there that you're just like, no, I'm just going to go get another one. I'm not going to repair this one. This is a commodity. It's like a shell. And, we foresee in the future that this is exactly what technology is going to do. These environments that have been sort of like marinating for a little bit, you've got the iOS ecosystem, and you got the Microsoft ecosystem, you got the Amazon ecosystem, you got the Google ecosystem, and they all have pieces of us that are already in those spaces. So it's just a matter of, when we can commit more and more of our digital life into one of these spaces, we can get off of putting our stuff on a local computer. There are very, very, very few computers that I have my stuff on. Most of my stuff rides around in the cloud space. So we're going to go through the program today and talk a little bit about something that you can start to do. You can dabble in it, and that way, the more stuff you put in there, we really have three things. Okay, we have our data, we have our programs, and we have our devices. And we'll talk a little bit about all those three, but we got a call out there, so let's go to Emmanuel next. 330-729-9977. Emmanuel, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Well, first of all, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
I was listening to you talk, about the older people, more seasoned people, and they don't really need a computer like NASA has. I agree with that. But I can remember way before we had all these smart TVs, they had this thing called web TV. And it seems to me, with people, even younger people with apartments, I know we have a cell phone. You can do everything on a cell phone. But it seems to me with these new smart TVs, there would be some type of business model to bring back that web TV. It'd be easier for someone like me that doesn't need everything what everybody else needs. Or every 2 years, I was buying one of those e-machines. Worked out great. I didn't need all that stuff. You can't find these two things anymore. Are they coming back, and do people use them overseas?
Okay, now question. Now, since you moved on from e-machines, what's the next thing that you bought? What have you been having to buy since the e-machines disappeared?
Regular computer.
Just a regular computer. And that's with most people, because what happens is you had the standard computers that were around $1,500, and then they became $1,000, and then they became $800. So we took so much of the margin away from the equipment creation that it really didn't make sense to carry a cheaper model, because you didn't have the expensive model to kind of subsidize that. Now you just have the regular model. So you don't think, in your opinion, right, as an entrepreneur and a businessman, you don't think there's a niche there? I know we have a cell phone. You can do everything on your smartphone. But it seems to me, if you got a 40-inch or 50-inch smart TV, now I know about tethering, but it seems like you could do more when you had that web TV. Yeah, and there'll be a couple more cycles. I mean, the Chromebook seems to be the Chromebook, the Chromebox, and that Chrome OS seems to be filling that niche right now. But it's not good enough for most people yet, because it's almost like learning a brand new environment. So I think,
yeah. It's not good enough for me.
What's that?
It's not good enough for me.
Right. Oh, yeah, I agree. And so when you use web TV, you had a browser and you had your TV. When you have a Chromebox, you have like a little laptop. It doesn't go up on the TV like, the older budget versions did.
and you don't have the high definition, and you don't have the picture that you have on these TVs. It seems to me that there has to be a niche there. Someone, I think you can make money doing that, but evidently they're not doing it. You can't make money. You say the operation cost and building it is not feasible.
Yeah, well, and again, these cycles happen where you see a bunch of margin come back into the equipment manufacturer, and you see it erode, and then nobody develops anything. And we're on that cycle where people are going to start putting products together. I feel it within the next 5 years.
Well, last thing, then I'll let somebody
Sure.
else let you go back to what you're talking about. Someone like me, I'm not cheap, but I am frugal, and I don't see no reason why you can't make a nice computer like the E-Machine for under $200. I don't really see why you can't do that.
All right.
It has everything you need.
Okay, Emmanuel, thank you for being out there. Appreciate you calling. All right, we're going to talk more about this because this is obviously something that we all contend with, and maybe we'll throw something out there that you guys can connect with. So, Emmanuel, thank you for that call. 330-729-9977. You can text me at 333-1570. This is the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Radio presents the podcast premiere event of Sleepwalkers.
Technology is changing our lives in ways we don't even notice.
There's 2.2 billion people who use Facebook. That's about the size of Christianity. There's 1.9 billion people who use YouTube. That's about the size of Islam.
On Sleepwalkers, we dive deep into the AI revolution and find out what it means for our future with the people who are building it. What effect is it having on us?
Hear the next episode of Sleepwalkers Wednesday night at 10 here on News Radio 570 WKBN.
Mother's Day is next Sunday, and ProFlowers is offering an amazing special. 1 dozen assorted roses for Mom for $19.99. And as a special bonus, double the roses and get a premium vase for just $9.99 more. Go to proflowers.com, click on the blue microphone, and enter the secret code 1919. With fresh flowers, express delivery, and unique vases and accessories that Mom will love, ProFlowers has everything you need to get your Mother's Day shopping done for all the moms you know. Order now from ProFlowers to get amazing savings. Just pick a delivery date and its freshness is guaranteed or your money back. 1 dozen assorted roses sent fresh from the farms and guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least 7 days, starting at $19.99. Or double the roses and get a premium vase for just $9.99 more. Order now because Mother's Day is next Sunday. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to proflowers.com, click on the microphone in the upper right corner, and enter the secret code 1919. That's proflowers.com, secret code 1919.
Hey, it's Ron for Nature Stone. Stop waiting and start moving. Let your family enjoy your basement. I know it's some damn dirty place that you don't want to spend time. We can make it look spectacular and put down Nature Stone. It's the only solution that will stand up to moisture, dampness, and even flooding. It's the right flooring for your basement. Get it installed in your home by the end of May and get up to half off. Schedule a free in-home estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. Naturestone.com. Remember Russell's promise, their true unconditional warranty. Like my friend Mike says, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Burnett Pool's financing event is happening right now. Take advantage of 0% APR for 60 months on all new hot tubs and above-ground swimming pools. Now's the time to own a hot spring spa, the world's #1 selling hot tub brand, or the perfect time to choose your new swimming pool. Visit Burnett Pool's locations in Cortland, Canfield, and Newcastle, or online at burnettpools.com. With low monthly payments on approved credit, it's easy to step into a new hot tub or above-ground pool.
Burnett Pools, we've got it all.
We can give our children a strong economy and a clean environment. The future is in our hands. Fair and responsible energy reform for today and tomorrow. The Ohio Clean Air Program ensures more clean energy generated in Ohio by Ohioans for Ohio. By modernizing our environmental goals, we encourage the growth of Ohio-made energy from wind, solar, and other sources that reduce carbon dioxide in our air. And by investing at home, not in other states, we will create new jobs and a better economy, helping Ohio families and entrepreneurs. The Ohio Clean Air Program improves our environment, creates jobs, and lowers what you pay for electricity. It's time to reform Ohio's energy goals. Protect what's precious. Call your representative at 800-282-0253. Encourage them to support the Ohio Clean Air Program. Don't let out-of-state profiteers continue to steal Ohio's jobs and our children's future. Paid for by Generation Now, Inc.
Hi, this is Eric Clark, and Fairway Ford in Canfield is the #1 Ford F-Series truck dealer everywhere within the sound of my voice. We are now Ford's newest commercial vehicle center also. See our commercial experts for F-250s, F-350s, F-450s, and F-550s. Fairway has dualies, dumps, utilities, stake, and flatbeds. Fairway Ford has them all on sale. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Hey, if you're one of 34 million Americans that smokes, you know what a hassle it can be. For me, I'm out playing golf and I come back smelling like cigars. It's the smell on your hands and your breath, your clothes. But now, thanks to Juul, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Juul is a vaporizer. It does contain nicotine for a satisfying transition. Now, when I found Juul, it was a complete game changer in my life. I don't smoke any cigars any longer. And Juul was designed by smokers for smokers to be an alternative to whatever it is you're smoking. So if you're one of 34 million adults who do smoke cigars, cigarettes, pipe, whatever, well, there is an alternative to all of them. Now, to discover the smoking alternative, that's like nothing you've ever tried. Just visit JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. That's JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. Now, warning, this product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is addictive.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. We're talking about a little bit of hardware today, talking about what to expect, what to buy, and sort of the state of mind to be able to purchase this stuff and get the equipment that you need to be able to satisfy what you're going to be doing with it. And last caller, we're talking about web TV and some of the lower cost budget machines. And let me further explain a little bit about, then versus now. So we brought up an old term, web TV, and e-machines as well. So both of those pieces of hardware were intended for sort of like low-end use. Okay, web TV was basically a piece of equipment to put a browser up on your television screen. You had a little keyboard and mouse, so you can use the TV in your living room as a computer, and you can browse the internet. Now, the internet's little bit different of an animal today than it was back when web TV made its thing. So there's a lot of stuff that happens where stuff, instead of just going to a browser and seeing markup, there's a lot of programming and compatibility that goes into that. And so, I don't necessarily think your TV is ever going to do the processing for being your computer, but I do think that has the ability to take input from a device. So, you're more likely to be doing all of your important stuff on your tablet or your phone, and then having the display or the components on your phone be broadcast to your TV. And now all of that stuff is actually capable of doing now. If you're in the Apple space, you can get an Apple TV, and then you can take your iPhone and you can take the browser on your iPhone and broadcast what you're doing on the iPhone up to the screen, and use the keyboard on your phone and Bluetooth keyboards to be able to type from there. So essentially, you're just passing through. You have a browser that you can see on your TV that's being generated by your phone, and your inputs coming from a keyboard. So essentially, you are doing web TV, but you're using three separate components: a TV that can connect to a smart device, and a smart device can connect to your phone, and your phone can connect to an input, a keyboard and mouse, or a keyboard in this case. Android can do the exact same thing, where you can dock it, you can give it a keyboard, so your phone or your tablet almost operates like a little computer, which then gives you access to a browser. And then once you're in a browser, then again, you could broadcast it up to your TV and be able to see what you're looking at up on the big screen. Because that's really what it is. You got this beautiful, expensive television on there, and you should be able to, use it for computer website stuff. And that seems to be a good enough answer. So, all right, 330-729-9977. You can text me at 333-1570. We're going to take this break. We're going to come back and take some of your calls. This is the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
For over 40 years, Bronx RV has been a family-owned and operated local business. If you're looking to go camping in the great outdoors, or you're just wanting a home away from home, Bronx RV has a great selection of new and used RVs. Bronx RV provides simple yet competitive pricing and offers a full parts and service department. Bronx RV pays top dollar for trade-ins and gives you the freedom to browse at their location on Route 45, just 4 miles north of Salem. Go to Bronx.com today to check out their inventory.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. Mahoney County Democratic Party Chairman David Beatrice is resigning. Beatrice cited wanting to spend more time with his family and law practice. He says he believes the party's in a strong position and will help his successor become familiar with the position. His resignation takes effect on May 15th. A concerned community member in Shenango Township tipped off humane agents in Mercer County. The Humane Society of Mercer County says nearly 60 dogs were found in a home raid on Grange Road in Shenango Township last night. About 10 of those dogs were found dead. The homeowner has not been identified and will be facing 10 felony charges of animal cruelty and numerous misdemeanors. A Mineral Ridge man is charged with making and selling homemade explosives without a license. Undercover agents made purchases from Donald Phillips. Phillips was arraigned on the charge Thursday. He's being held without bail. Agents were tipped off back in February. Small Shop Hubbard happens today. It's an event to bring people to downtown. Small Shop Hubbard started back in 2016 as a way to get foot traffic to the stores that were in walking distance of one another. Since then, 30 shops have been added to the list of small businesses. The event happens till 4 p.m. today, rain or shine. And it's free fishing days on Ohio public waterways. Ohio's free fishing days are open to all Ohio residents and extend to all of Ohio's public waterways, including Lake Erie and the Ohio River. The fishing days happen today and tomorrow. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2. Need an AC checkup? Call Mazda's Air Conditioning in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Cloudy skies into this evening. Still a slight chance of a late day shower, the high 65. Tonight, cloudy evening and overnight showers, a low in the mid-40s. Chance of showers early on Sunday, then partly sunny with a high near 70. Monday, mostly sunny and warm with a high 75.
Test drive new guns and gear at the Conceal Carry Expo. Come to the David Lawrence Convention Center this Friday through Sunday. Text EXPO to the number 87222 for your discounted tickets and free t-shirt. That's EXPO to the number 87222.
Groover Roofing and Siding, locally owned and operated since 1995. From roofing to siding to windows to chimney and gutter repair, Groover Roofing and Siding was built on a reputation of commitment to customer satisfaction and quality products, making Groover the Valley's leader in renovation and restoration. Groover Roofing and Siding, your home improvement specialists. Learn more now at grooverroofingandsiding.com.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee, and you're even getting up at night to go. This is not okay. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 prostate formula, are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one. To celebrate, we're sending free bottles to men who want to cut down on bathroom trips. Yes, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Call 1-800-215-9360. P3 Advanced has clinically tested non-prescription ingredients to support your prostate. Combine that with a reduction in urges to pee, and you have a formula you'd be crazy not to try. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Find out how to get a free bottle of Noxatril while supplies last. Call 1-800-993-1560. That's 800-993-1560. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-993-1560. 800-993-1560.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. This is your show where we get to talk about things that are happening in tech. We're talking about devices and picking the proper tools for the job here. We've outlined some of the products that used to be available and are available right now. A text message, it's related to the conversations we were just having. Listen to the last caller. I'm over 70 and pretty tech savvy. Why would I want an e-machine? He said he needs something $200 to $250 when you can get an iPad with a pencil. That's all you need. You can take it anywhere with you that has Wi-Fi. And that's the thing when you tackle these sort of picking products out. Half of the battle is knowing what each one of the devices is for. Okay, and some of you might go to in front of a keyboard and mouse and be able to navigate the web really well. Someone hands you a tablet and says, get on the internet, and it's so foreign, you can't do the same things that you're used to doing. Even though it's still the web and it's still a browser and it's still a keyboard, it's just not the same as you're used to. And so being dynamic and knowing the principle of getting on the web, like I definitely have preferences when I'm doing certain things. I don't want to be entering it from an on-screen keyboard. I hate it. It's just me, though. I know people who have sent me, these big, long emails, and they authored the entire thing on an on-screen keyboard. Their eyes and their hands and their posture, it has no problem, doing that. I hate it because I'm so slow at the finger typing. Right? I want a keyboard, a full-blown keyboard in front of me. And if I can't have a full-blown keyboard, at least give me a slightly smaller version. But an on-screen one, even when it's on an iPad, something big, even if it's that one that goes across the surface where you get almost a full keyboard. If it's touch, I can't be fast like I can on a desktop keyboard. So in that case, even though that I know that my device can do browsing, I'm not going to prefer it. I'm still going to buy a computer to do that portion of it. So maybe the parts that I find myself typing is when I'm, so if I'm entering something in my calendar, right? I can do that from my devices. It's usually 5 or 6 words. I can easily do that. I'm annoyed with it. And, some of the voice typing that I can even get away with doing that. If I'm authoring a post on social media, I want to be in front of a keyboard. So my main machine has to have a keyboard, has to be able to get on the internet. Authoring an email, same thing. I got to be in front of a keyboard. I'm not going to send you an email that's longer than 5 words without being in front of a regular keyboard. When I'm designing and developing, yeah, for sure, a regular computer. So when I'm buying a machine that gets me to the internet, it can be anything from a Chromebook or box up, because I'll have a keyboard. It'll be like a laptop. I'll have a browser. I can do email. I can get on the web. I can print stuff. I can do PDFs. I can do my morning routine from anything. A $200 Chromebook. That's really what they cost. And then, if you need a little bit bigger of a display, you can always plug it into the monitor of your choice. But as far as the computer goes, and that's a beautiful thing about LCDs now, they're lasting forever. You're not going through 5 and 6 LCDs per cycle. I've had people have, a 24-inch monitor, a 22-inch monitor last a couple of PCs because they bought ahead in the future. They probably paid up when they did, but, they just don't go bad anymore like they used to. They're so simple and perfected to a point where you're just not wasting a bunch of money buying displays. So buy a display that you want. I got this nice widescreen one. I plug it in any device that I have, a computer, a laptop, a docking station, whatever. It's all HDMI, so it's standardized. And so if you're in that group where you're used to paying, and let me kind of illustrate this one more time. We had e-machines that cost $250, but how did e-machines come to be? Why was $250 even possible? Like, where did those parts come from? When if you go through and list everything that's in a computer, so you have a chassis where you're paying probably about $65 per chassis. And that's just the case, the plastic and the metal that you mount everything to, right? So far at a $250 machine, 65 of it with a well-made case goes to that. You got a power supply. Power supplies cost $75 for a nice 500, 600 watt power supply. Okay, your processor. Now, the processors we buy, anywhere from 260 to 360, depending on if it's an i5 or whatnot. The motherboard, that's another, 100 and a quarter. The hard drive, another 100 and a quarter. And so you can see where, as of right now, the components that I would use in a machine that was not a performer, a powerhouse, just a regular machine, I'm already at about $500 in cost. And I haven't even got to the operating system, the keyboard and mouse. I haven't got to the other components that are in this. So you can see, how did they pull off a $250 machine? Well, here's basically what happened. You had like a ton of money that people were spending on computers, right? So it made sense when Dells and Gateways at the time had margins of 25% on the equipment that they sold. Well, with every passing year, that margin shrunk, which meant that the profit shrunk as well. So you had a market where Dell would buy a bunch of components, and then when they didn't use all the components, there was an aftermarket on supplies that were just a couple years old, where Dell and Gateway couldn't put that motherboard in today's computer because the cycles of processors were happening so fast. But an E-Machines can buy up old hardware for next to nothing, surplus from what Dell was making money. So if they were offloading some of their spare components that they weren't able to use to a company that can make use of them, that happened. So fast forward today. We don't have spare components because we don't have these massive product cycles that a new processor comes out every month, right? And then you don't have margins in those computers. So, Dell and Gateways aren't buying. I know Gateway's not there anymore, but your computer manufacturers aren't buying so much extra inventory that they have to find a home for it, anyway. So that product would not be able to be engineered out of brand new parts without being subsidized by a bigger market that's above it. When it commoditizes, right, that's what ends up happening, is that market disappears. So I don't necessarily see that, number one, you could do it for $250 or that anybody would ever choose to it. Do you understand, like, when you sell equipment to the public, it is not just selling the equipment, it is so expensive to be able to give you a computer. Do you know why? Because you're going to take it home and you're going to plug it into stuff, and something doesn't work. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to call whoever you bought it from. Every call that comes in costs the person money. So you're barely making anything on the computer, 5% maybe on a great day. And then the problems that come with the consumer, you don't have time to get everybody up to a certain standard. Like, we can spend time with all of you, right? It's in our business, in our interest to get all of you who are listening up to a certain level, and we can take it slow. But when you're a computer manufacturer, you want something that I can hand you and then I never have to see you again. And you're never going to call me and you're never going to send me an email, because then I got to pay people to field your calls as they come in. And I want to service you, right? But every time I service you, I'm paying someone, which then further erodes that marketplace. So residential equipment, it's really tough to make a living at. And so that's why I say that you won't see another 250, because you won't see high margin computer components. And that's great on the commercial side, or the great on the consumer side, because your computers got cheaper, right? And you love a cheaper computer. You don't have to spend $1,500 to get a middle-of-the-road computer. You can spend $700 or $600 to get a middle-of-the-line, middle-of-the-road computer. And again, you understand that benefits everybody. You got more computers in everybody's homes, which means everybody has the tools that, there's no unfair advantage for someone who could, front the $1,500 to get their kid a computer, and then the other households that just couldn't do it, so their kids get nothing. They get kind of left behind there. So again, it's good. I mean, it's great that computers are cheap, but it's terrible because a whole marketplace disappeared when it gets commoditized like that. All right, so back to the original, where I as a computer company, I benefited a whole lot from a lot of people not knowing about computers, right? But with every program that we do, we tried to help you learn a little bit more, so you could do a lot more of the things that we had to help you in the beginning. And I'll tell you, as a sort of a success story, when we first started, we were doing a whole lot of things that we don't necessarily have to do anymore. The marketplace got smarter regardless. Okay, and so we don't have to bring you up to a certain level where, like, I barely run into someone who doesn't know how to use a mouse, right? And that was a thing for a while. And I would have to teach someone how to get used to, articulating the mouse. Never done it before, so you can even see when someone puts their hand on a mouse that they've never touched one before. Pretty much everybody I come in contact with knows the mouse. I don't have to start there. So where do I have to start? They've used a keyboard. They've clicked on things. I used to have to tell people what a double click was, what a right click was, what a lasso was. All of these things were foreign to people. So as we kept elevating people's experiences, we can go a little bit more advanced every time that we do one of these cycles. So again, our goal is to make you, as the consumer, not need us. But in the meantime, we'll give you the information. We'll help you get started. We'll help you get in there. And this is two sides of our business. We do have our service side of the business where we are rented. Our skill set is rented to solve problems. And then here on this side, we are here to help everybody out there to see if we can just add a little bit more knowledge into the general marketplace so you guys get smarter and do things. Because honestly, what would happen back in the day if all of you are like, screw it, I'm not learning how to use this mouse, right? So all of the product launches on cell phones and tablets and laptops and desktops would have been pointless because there's a segment of our society that would never in a million years be a buyer. So it's good that we keep that cycle of knowledge going forward. That was a long dissertation on that, so... Okay, 330-729-9977. Let's go to Scott. Scott, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, Joe. Thanks for taking my call. I
Sure.
appreciate it. Got a question on service for you. I bought a HP laptop just under a year ago, and I've had nothing but problems with it. I called you once before, and you gave me some good recommendations. First, the sound card went out or something. They replaced the sound card like a month into it. And then for like 3 different times, it just turns itself off and restarts itself about a jillion times. One for memory management, one for kernel objection, one for something else. When is it possible to get a whole new computer? I feel bad now that I'm a year into it. I want a new computer, but the repairs keep going over and over again, and I don't have software insurance, which I thought I had. I have hardware insurance. Do I have a leg to stand on with Best Buy, or should I go to HP? Or
yeah, I'd go back to them and let them know that you've got a struggle here and it's not being solved by component troubleshooting, and you've got so much time into it. I'm going to say it's probably hardware. If this thing has spanned many repairs and many reloads, then it's not the software that's contributing to this. A couple things that you can do. I mean, I would just appeal to the tech support. Don't be discouraged if you get to tech support and they're pretty quick to tell you that they can't do anything. I wouldn't stop there because a lot of their service is outsourced to people who are not HP. I would just keep digging and see if maybe you can get an actual conversation going through email with someone who has HP in their email address. That would be a really good starting, and see if you can make some. I mean, you're going to have to appeal to someone's generosity in order to do this because they deal. They have whole departments that are just deal with people and getting rid of them as fast as possible. But I think they're good company and they stand behind their products. It just might take some work.
Gotcha. All right, super. I always appreciate your conversation. Thanks. Have a great. Oh, by
yes.
the way, great job filling in for Dan Rivers.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Great thing. That was amazing week of radio. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Scott. Appreciate you being out there. And a lot of people followed us from the weekend show. They followed us to the week show. I heard from those people who gave me high fives when I got to talk physics during a normal political debate. And I had people from the political side that then followed me to the computer side. So it was a really cool thing. This radio station is just amazing with giving me opportunities and putting those things in front of me and seeing how they go. I love that about this station. These guys are all my friends over here. But yeah, it was kind of fun. I'm really enjoying, and I told you when I go out, I hear from our listeners all the time. And they tell me about the stuff that they learn from the show and what they like about it. They give me really, really fair criticisms. And the political side gave me a whole new perspective because computers are, they're so they can be translated into so many real-time problem-solving things. So I can take political problems and solve them the way that a computer would, just using the logic that software and hardware utilizes. Computer people are really good at taking on real-world problems and solving them mathematically. So if you put me in a room with a problem, right, I tell you, I'll start calculating on it. And so I can be objective and not be, sort of like the normal religion of politics type of a problem solver. You might not like what I say. You might not like the conclusions that I come to, but they're all going to be very honest conclusions, and you can sort of have faith in them. So a lot of people, took that where I was preachy and I used a lot of words. They're not used to that. Usually politics is give me a 1-2 punch of an opinion and then back away and then see what explosions happen, right? Well, I'm coming from a spot that needs a little bit of explanation. This is sort of like an academic deep dive into some of this stuff, and that's what I do for a living. So I can't separate myself out from problem solving and say, hey, let's do sort of like a superficial version of solving your problem that makes everybody feel good. I just can't do it, and I apologize sometimes on this program for talking too long about it, and on that one, but it's part of the gig. I mean, I wouldn't be doing our thing if we didn't really dive into the discussion at hand. So Scott, thank you for being out there. Appreciate it, and following me from the weekend to the week, and then back and forth, and so on and so forth. To put a cherry on this topic, it is our objective to get you as the computer user to sort of bail on having to always go through this hardware qualification thing and to know what it is that you need. And so basically the guy that's on the other side of the sales pitch wants to know if you need, here we'll go component by component. What processor is right for you? All right, are you doing any high-end processing routines? Right, what's processing? Translations, right? So code is pushed through your central processing unit, and it is translated from simple things up to complicated things. The more translations that have to occur, the more the processor is kept active and pegged out. So you can go to Task Manager and go to the Performance tab and see how your processor is performing right now on a Windows 10 machine. You can see it's basically rated in percentages, so you can see as your computer's opening and applications are opening, you're doing stuff, watch your processor and see how much you're actually utilizing. It's interesting because if you never thought about it, maybe you're only using 1% of your processor, but you're buying a 5.7 gigahertz processor. I don't know. It doesn't even really exist. Anyway, we'll take this break. 330-729-9977. You can text me at 333-1570. We'll talk more about this stuff when we get back from this. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Hi, folks. Steve Bott from Mark Thomas Ford. The weather, it's finally heating up, and so are the deals here at Mark Thomas. Tell them, Davey.
That's right, Steve. $173 a month for a 2019 Ford EcoSport, or up to $12,000 off on the 2019 F-150, or 0% for 72 months.
And Dave, don't let them forget the Mark Thomas promise. The biggest discounts, the highest trade allowances, the best interest rates, and the lowest payments. Stop out and see us at Mark Thomas Ford. We're 2 miles north through 82 Bypass on Elm Road in Cortland, Ohio. Or check us out on the web at markthomasford.com.
Conservative Republican and prosecutor Caitlin Dickey knows stories like these all too well.
In Wellsville, an ex-boyfriend broke a car windshield and threatened to break a window in a house in order to take a child from its mother. In Salem, a woman was taken to the hospital after she was choked by her husband while trying to keep him from hurting their young daughter. And in Fairfield Township, a man phoned the mother of his child 125 times in one day, making threats and telling her, if I can't have the child, no one can.
This is Caitlin Dickey. I'm a prosecutor, but I'm running for judge to protect our community. I have experience protecting women and children from domestic violence and stalking by issuing protection orders.
Caitlin Dickey is endorsed. Former magistrate Caitlin Dickey is experienced. Caitlin Dickey, she'll give criminals the sentences they deserve. Vote conservative Republican Caitlin Dickey for judge. Paid for by Dickey for Judge.
Quality, style, and function all made in factories right here in the USA. Hi, I'm Denise Tafala, and I'm talking about Pella Windows and Doors. This is one of the many reasons why Pella is the most preferred window brand in Northeast Ohio. Right now, you can save up to $100 off windows and $400 off patio doors. Plus, make no payments and pay no interest for 12 months. Schedule your free in-home consultation at PellaYoungstown.com.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee, and you're even getting up at night to go. This is not okay. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 prostate formula, are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one. To celebrate, we're sending free bottles to men who want to cut down on bathroom trips. Yes, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling.
Call 1-800-252-8940.
P3 Advanced has clinically tested non-prescription ingredients to support your prostate. Combine that with a reduction in urges to pee, and you have a formula you'd be crazy not to try. Get P3 Advanced free.
Call 1-800-252-8940. 1-800-252-8940. 1-800-252-8940.
Mother's Day is next Sunday, and ProFlowers is offering an amazing special. 1 dozen assorted roses for Mom for $19.99. And as a special bonus, double the roses and get a premium vase for just $9.99 more. Go to ProFlowers.com, click on the blue microphone and enter the secret code 1919. With fresh flowers, express delivery, and unique vases and accessories that Mom will love, ProFlowers has everything you need to get your Mother's Day shopping done for all the moms you know. Order now from ProFlowers to get amazing savings. Just pick a delivery date and its freshness is guaranteed or your money back. 1 dozen assorted roses sent fresh from the farms and guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least 7 days, starting at $19.99. Or double the roses and get a premium vase for just $9.99 more. Order now because Mother's Day is next Sunday. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to ProFlowers.com, click on the microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 1919. That's ProFlowers.com, secret code 1919.
May the 4th be with you. Celebrate International Star Wars Day with the iHeartRadio original station, May the 4th Radio. The perfect soundtrack, whether you're on the light side,
you're Han Solo,
or the dark side. Nothing will stand in our way. Approved by Chewie. Thumbs up, light her up by BB-8. And even Vader loves it. But you wouldn't know it. The guy has no emotion. Your music, your stations, #1 for podcasts. And may the 4th be with you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, talking a little bit about hardware. And so we started going over what to look for when you're purchasing the equipment and what some of this stuff does and what it should mean to you. And so what I did was I went over and looked up some general system or minimum system requirements for some popular games. And I'm going to read sort of through them and take them through what Joe thinks about them and how I would be processing them, and you can kind of learn from that experience. So basically, the first thing it's going to say the operating system that it needs. Okay, this one says Windows 7, 8, 10, or 64-bit. Every computer you're going to buy off of the shelf is going to have Windows 10. 64-bit, and it's either going to be a version of Home or Pro, and either is going to work. So pretty much anything you buy is going to nail the first one. Those of you who run Mac or those of you who have a Linux machine, you're going to have to pick your games differently because not all of them are 100% compatible across platforms. So if you want a Windows machine, it's going to appeal to what I'm looking at, which was Epic Games. And this one makes one of its system requirements having the Windows operating system, Windows 10, 7, 8, all 64-bit. Next is processor. So this one says i5 2.8 gigahertz. And so i5 sort of like is a model of car that has been sort of, I can't say model, it's a make of car, and there's been several models within that make. So we'll say the model would be i3, a model would be i5, and other way around. The make would be i3, make would be i5, make would be i7, but then there are inside of each one of those classifications. So i5 is going to be sort of your lower end processor, and the i3 is going to be lower end. Man, I cannot compose a thought. i3 is going to be your lower end, i5 is going to be your middle, and i7 is going to be more of your performance. And then within those groups, this one says i5. All right, so i5 is cool. Now, 2.8 gigahertz, again, everything you're going to buy off the shelf is going to be, if it's an i5, it's going to be better than a 2.8. So that's going to be solved as well. I'll continue this. This is a cool little mental exercise or a little role-playing thing. So we'll continue this as we go on. 330-729-9977 is the phone number. You can text me at 333-1570. We're talking about some hardware today. It's interesting, and if you have any questions, feel free. Load up the lines, and you can ask those questions when we come back. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Message and data rates may apply.
Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that furthered your career and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors, all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? To find out more, text OFFER to 79645. That's OFFER to 79645. Start your online MBA, Information Management, or Business Analytics Master's Program from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the W.P. Carey Business Graduate Programs online. Text OFFER to 79645. That's OFFER to 79645.
On AM and thousands of devices, including Amazon Echo, Google Home, and Sonos. With our iHeartRadio app, 570 WKBN, Youngstown. It's 2 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. North Korea ratcheting up tension, firing a volley of short-range missiles into the Sea of Japan today. Pyongyang expressing displeasure over the lack of progress in negotiations with the U.S. since a summit between President Trump and Kim ended without sanctions relief. Former State Department official and ABC News contributor Steve Ganyard.
We have seen that their main negotiator has been replaced, and anytime you replace a main negotiator, it means there's probably going to be a change in negotiating tactics. So we're waiting to see what the North Korean administration will offer up to the United States.
Here at home, 3 people unaccounted for presumed dead after an explosion at a silicone plant outside of Chicago. David Reddick owns a neighboring business, says he's grateful his employees are all safe.
Fortunately, our cleaning crew left about 9 o'clock last night, so the blast, I think, happened around 9:30, so everyone was free and clear, and that's really what matters.
No word yet on the cause. The cruise ship that was under quarantine in the Caribbean for a measles case has made its way back to the ship's home port on the island of Curacao. Health officials say they'll now assess who's vaccinated or needs to be before deciding who can disembark.
After that assessment, officials tell ABC News that if all goes well, that ship may be allowed to leave on the next leg of its trip.
ABC's Victor Oquendo. Everyone on board the Free Winds, operated by the Church of Scientology, has been stuck on the ship since arriving in St. Lucia Tuesday, when a doctor confirmed a single case of measles. The Democratic presidential candidates on the campaign trail today. Joe Biden stumping in the Carolinas, Bernie Sanders in Iowa, and Beto O'Rourke in his home state of Texas, the commencement speaker at Paul Quinn College in Dallas.
We will meet these challenges of access to higher education by examples set by institutions like this one.
And you're listening to ABC News.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. Mahoning County Democratic Party Chairman David Beatrice is resigning. Beatrice cited wanting to spend more time with his family and law practice. He says he believes the party's in a strong position and will help his successor become familiar with the position. His resignation takes effect on May 15th. A concerned community member in Shenango Township tipped off humane agents in Mercer County. The Humane Society of Mercer County says nearly 60 dogs were found in a home raid on Grange Road in Shenango Township last night. About 10 of those dogs were found dead. The homeowner has not been identified and will be facing 10 felony charges of animal cruelty and numerous misdemeanors. A Mineral Ridge man is charged with making and selling homemade explosives without a license. Undercover agents made purchases from Donald Phillips. Phillips was arraigned on the charge Thursday. He's being held without bail. Agents were tipped off back in February. Police say a teacher who was under investigation for inappropriate actions with a student has died by apparent suicide. 27 First News reports the Boardman High School teacher was found on the tracks on Pine Lake Road in Beaver Township Friday morning. The teacher was escorted out of the building on Thursday following allegations involving an 18-year-old student. He was on administration leave during the investigation but had not been charged. Children's services were called and 2 women were charged with child endangering after police say a 1-year-old child was found alone on the balcony of a dirty hotel room in Liberty. An officer spotted the child Thursday on the balcony of a hotel on Motor Inn Drive. Laura Moncrief and Brittany Jackson are charged with child endangering and other charges. They're both in the Trumbull County Jail. Police in Youngstown are concerned about the buildup of traffic congestion in downtown at night and on weekends because of ride-sharing drivers. Designated pickup areas are being considered for services such as Uber and Lyft. A 17-year-old boy is charged with the murder of a feral teen in Youngstown last year. A Mahoney County grand jury indicted Antonio Davis on aggravated murder, and 2 counts of aggravated robbery. Police say they connected Davis to the killing of David Marinoff back in March of 2018. In sports, the Indians beat Seattle 2-1, both again today, 3:35 on News Radio 570 WKBN. Oakland pounded the Pirates 14-1, and the 145th running of the Kentucky Derby happens today at Churchill Downs. Post time about 6:50 p.m. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2:30. Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's. For your home or business, call Mazza's Heating and AC in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Cloudy skies into this evening. Still a slight chance of a late day shower, the high 65. Tonight, cloudy evening and overnight showers, a low in the mid-40s. Chance of showers early on Sunday, then partly sunny with a high near 70. Monday, mostly sunny and warm with a high 75.
Burnett Pool's financing event is happening right now. Take advantage of 0% APR for 60 months on all new hot tubs and above-ground swimming pools. Now's the time to own a hot spring spa, the world's #1 selling hot tub brand, or the perfect time to choose your new swimming pool. Visit Burnett Pool's locations in Cortland, Canfield, and Newcastle, or online at burnettpools.com. With low monthly payments on approved credit, it's easy to step into a new hot tub or above-ground pool.
Burnett Pools, we've got it all.
At Menards, nobody beats our prices. Enjoy backyard get-togethers more with Shelter Logic. A handy 10x20 canopy is easy to assemble, only $98. Protect cars, boats, and more with a 13x20 round top shelter with a 3-ply all-season cover, $478. Plus, a Menards gift card is perfect for Mother's Day. Stop in and save through May 5th during the Menards Spring Catalog Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
For lunch and special occasions, it's Overture's Restaurant with chef extraordinaire Jeff Crystal, downtown next to the Dior Performing Arts Center.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. I'm doing a hard topic right now, talking about things in hardware, and it's really hard to have your attention span paying attention to things like hardware because, again, you might be more advanced. This stuff doesn't really apply to you, but it's really important to those who have no exposure to it to know what's in that magical black box that makes their computer stuff run. And getting familiar with it helps you make better decisions when you're purchasing this new stuff. Instead of just buying blindly that I want to go get an i5 2.8 gigahertz, and I have no idea what that is and what that does until you listen to a show like this, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a little nugget, just a tiny bit, just a little smidgen about what these things do so you know what logic to be able to put into to finding them. Or purchasing them. So the first one is that most of the machines you buy off the shelf are going to have Windows 10, 64-bit, either Home or Pro, and both can play games. And so if you're doing networking, if you're doing you have a business, you don't really want to buy the Home one because there are some features that are disabled. For a cost savings, they're disabled in the Home version where, your Home version isn't really necessarily going to play a role in domain environments or Active Directory or anything like that. So the Home one is meant to be sort of like a standalone in my network, in my home network, and I get on the internet. And the Pro version is meant to it's a dynamic utilitarian type of operating system that costs more. So your Windows 10 regular Home is $100, and the version that does Pro is $150, and not exact, but you can see there's a difference between the two. So if you want to save yourself $50, you can go with the Home version if it's not going to participate in a network. Processor-wise, now if you're middle of the road, you're going to always be talked into like an i5 because people who are talked into an i7 have a reason to go i7. The software they looked into or design development require it. So I do streaming. I want to have an i7. I do graphics development and editing. I want to have an i7. Because if I don't, what ends up happening is the CPU gets taxed to the point where it goes to 100%, and then everything else in the system waits until it frees up. So you don't want the processor get to go to 100% because then you're just waiting. And some operations just can't be done while you're sitting in there in a state of waiting. Some of them end up just taking longer. And when it comes to like gaming, while your CPU goes to 100% and it needs to compile some stuff on the screen so you know what it looks like, then you get lag where you're really in the game moving, but what you're seeing is not moving. So you can die really easily when what you're seeing is not moving and you are, right, easily picked off. So gamers really don't want their processor to be, maxed out. They want to have some overhead on the top of it. So 8 gigs of RAM. Now, very crucial. If I'm going to operate on a computer, I'm going to give a little bit up in the processor department, and I'm going to give a little bit up everywhere else. But when it comes to memory, that's usually the two biggest pieces that you want to put into for performance are the solid-state hard drive and the having enough memory. Stuff you buy off the shelf, you're going to probably have about 8 gigs of memory. You don't really want to, you can get away with 4 gigs, like minimum system requirements on Windows 10. You're going to have 4 in there. But if you start doing advanced stuff, you're going to dig through 4 gigs pretty quickly. The operating system's going to make use of available memory and start allocating it for different processes. The more you give it, the more it allocates. So it'll use that memory up, but you'll benefit from it because it can cache some operations where you don't have to have the things reprocessed. So it takes some stress off of your processor when you have memory that doesn't have to be constantly freed up. So having 8 or even 16 is really great. The stuff you buy off the shelf, you're going to probably have 8 anyway, and that's a good starting point. But if you're choosing between the two, I'm going to take 8 over or 16 over 8 any day, and then some. Video cards. So this game is requiring that it has an NVIDIA GTX 660 with at least 2 gigs of video memory on board. Now, if you're doing gaming, I can go buy a Dell, an i5 Dell with 16 gigs of memory in Windows Home, and I can buy it on the cheap, right? I can buy a $500. This machine probably cost me about $500, and it's not going to have a great video card in it. But then I can go buy a $200 video card that is an NVIDIA GT 660 and put it in my new Dell that I just purchased with a new power supply. So Dell cost me $500, video card cost me $200, power supply cost me $75. So now $775. I have a machine that's capable of playing this game. Dell got me to the operating system, the amount of memory, and the processor that I was going to need. I did the video card, I did the video memory, and I did the power supply. Reason I do power supply is a lot of these cheaper Dell computers, they've sort of diluted down their product so that it used to be that Dell's used to ship with a 400-watt power supply, which was plenty. And then they went to 300, and then they went to 220. So you barely have enough power that's coming out of that power supply to just do the hardware that ships with it. You really don't have the option to start adding high usage expansion cards because you just don't have the power supplies to be able to support it. So that's one downside of getting a Dell is it doesn't come with horsepower that to be able to power that stuff, and even the little connections that are required for this, it's not even going to have the power to supply that as well. So you want to make sure, like I said, in this case, that if you're playing games that you want, Windows 10 64-bit, an i5 or an i7, 8 or 16 gigs of memory, and then put a video card that you trust that couples up and works well with the games that you're playing or the stuff that you're doing. So it's easy enough to say, okay, well, I do graphics development. So I'm going to go use Adobe products. I'm going to use Adobe Premiere, or I'm going to use Sony Vegas to cut my video. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find out what people are using that use it and then use what they're using. So if they buy a certain video card, use what they're using. So check in with the people who are using the same software. Don't just go by this minimum system requirements because where it will technically function, you want to have a good experience with this upper end stuff. Now, everyone else, people who are not doing games, Windows, what version are you getting? You have the home version of the pro version. Doesn't really apply to you. Either will work fine. Processor, i3, i5, i7. I like operating on a 8th or 9th generation i5. I don't really like operating on an i3 when I'm doing heavy lifting stuff. I don't even notice it when I'm just doing browsing internet or whatever. So if I'm on a throwaway computer, I'm buying a computer that has a processor that only put $60 worth of overhead in the processor chamber. And again, 4, 8, 16 gigs of memory, and then video card doesn't matter. I'll take the video card that ships on the motherboard. Most of them do. You buy one from Dell, your motherboard actually has an integrated video card in it, so you don't have to put an expansion card in there. So that's the logic that goes through picking out the equipment. Got some text messages here. Let me read through that here. Options for less: Chromebooks, Linux, Raspberry Pi. Also, businesses should pool old computer equipment and work with communities, churches, civic groups, local Greek or geek groups, so repurposing could be performed, as well as training users on the repurposed equipment. This would help lower income users order less experienced users and foster more community spirit. Sadly, profits and market share control would inhibit such being undertaken. Just my thoughts. That's awesome. And actually, we when we didn't have so much business. We did a great deal of when we took usable equipment that we took out of the field that nobody wanted and technically functioned, we would fix it up and then we would donate it to schools, churches, and whatnot. And we put a lot of our spare time, like when our guys were working on the bench and they broke away free from it for a couple minutes, we'd basically donate the time in and get something prepared for, preschools and churches. And then a period of time went by that nobody really wanted our older equipment. There wasn't a need for it or something. And we ended up, really throwing away a lot of equipment or recycling a lot of equipment that just went unused because everybody was rejecting, those computers and those systems. So there was a period, like I said, there was a period of time that actually did happen and not a lot of fruit. I haven't heard of anything recently. So that either means one of two things. Either that's good because anybody who wants a computer has access to it and people are not going without. Either through phones, tablets, or whatever, the desire is being met, the demand is being met. But I agree with you that there is far too many computer equipments that go into landfills and recycled that technically work, that put in front of somebody might be able to make use of it. So I wouldn't be, if somebody in our area stood up and took that on, I would gladly support them. We could probably donate a ton of equipment once they go out and prove that their objective is the same of what we're talking about. I'd be happy to give our spare equipment to somebody who could try to make really good use of it. So again, if you're going to be making, if you want to decentralize yourself and untether yourself from a piece of equipment, this is really what you have to process. Okay, you have to know what your data is, you have to know what your programs are, and you have to know what your devices are. And as soon as you can offload those three things and have a really good grasp on what they are, if I have to walk up to you and tell you that you need to install Microsoft Word on your computer, that is a program that all of your data is connected to. You need it to be able to look at your Word documents and author them. That's your deal. If I handed you a new computer and then it didn't have Word on there, would you be lost, right? So my documents, I want them to be mobile. I do not want to be stuck in one environment. So most of my documents, I can move from an open office to an Office version to a Google Drive, and they will all span across there. So I pick one of them to save it, but in case I decide to change my mind, I want to be able to take my documents and not be specific to Word documents. I want to go into open office. I have to design everything from the get-go to know that I don't want to be beholden to one of those ecosystems. I want my environment to be mobile. So are you, if this isn't a consideration, if you're like, I know Word, I'm going to create in Word, and I'm going to have lots of dynamic things happening in Word, well, you're stuck in Word. Fortunately, Word has Office 365. Office 365 has cloud, integration. So even though you're stuck in Microsoft Word, you have to have Word on all the machines. If you do Office 365, guess what happens? You get a new computer, you log into Microsoft Word, you have the same version that you did before, you have access to the same documents if you use OneDrive, and it follows you around. So it really satisfies that stipulation that if you're looking to move away, if I light that computer on fire, what happens to your stuff? You have access to Word. Now, other applications, games that you put on there, if you get a new computer, you got to install those games. Okay? If you get a new computer, you got to install your printer and your scanner and all the other devices that plug into that. It's pretty important, I guess, if you have interest in this, and this is really what it's going to require. Make a list of all of the data that is yours, and what that means is go through your My Documents. What's in there? PDFs, Word documents, Excel sheets, pictures, movies. What's your stuff look like? What is it? And when you start saying I have 10 different types of documents or 10 different types of data, All right. And then you could start saying how mobile is all that data. If I pulled that off, put it on the cloud, could you just go up to my computer and open all of your stuff? Or do you need your specific programs to be able to open your stuff? And that's how you start weighing out whether or not you can start saying, okay, well, instead of using this format that needs this specific camera, I'm going to start saving it as a JPEG, which is a universal format that I can move anywhere. And it doesn't care if I have the Sony program installed in order to get to my data. I can literally use it anywhere. And then your devices. We've had so many countless run-ins with how complicated individual devices are, how they could be uniform, where a printer is a printer is a printer, but yet every printer company designs their own drivers so that they're different from everybody else's drivers. And that way you need these 500 megabyte drivers to install a stinking printer that's, I don't know, it baffles me. But knowing your devices and being able to do your stuff. Like I have a couple of things that need a specific printer to be able to do, right? But if I design stuff like most of your documents, if I print it on a laser, it looks good. If I print it on an inkjet, it looks good. There's very few documents that I develop that I can't just spit out to whatever's sitting in front of my computer. And if you can take all three of those things, make your specific list of data programs and devices so that you become mobile, then you're buying machines that are pass-through, that are just dumb terminals. If that computer is so customized that you need that specific computer, then you're going to be in the same process that you have for the number of years, which means that you got to always buy to a certain level. You got to always buy up to a certain level of hardware and software, and that ends up getting pricey. And I'm not begrudging people being able to do that. I have a machine that's in my office that has to be that. But I also have another machine that is not that. So the one I take on the road, I can jam a pitchfork through it, and it doesn't matter. There's nothing unique about stuff that's on that drive. Everything that I use there is accessible everywhere. But the one that's on my desktop in my office, that has very specific things that need specific applications there. And because it fills a natural role in my enterprise, I have to do that. So again, I'm not holding and insulting you and saying that you're over beholden to a single computer. Sometimes it's necessary, but let's just say I didn't try, then all of my computers would be beholden to stuff that's on the hard drive. And I have a little bit over there, and I'd have a little bit over there, and a little bit over there. And that gets things complicated and makes it impossible for me to bail out of that piece of hardware. And I'd have to keep buying, upper end equipment everywhere that I go. All right. We'll take some more of your calls, 330-729-9977. We're going to get off this hardware topic for a little bit and get into some other things. So when we come back from this break, we can talk about anything that's on your mind. 330-729-9977 or text me, 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Your house becomes a home with Window Depot.
Valley homeowners trust Window Depot of Youngstown. Our triple pane windows offer unmatched beauty and energy efficiency.
To the hundreds of customers who have trusted us to remodel their home, we say thank you. Hi, it's Rich from Window Depot. Did you know all of our products are made right here in Ohio and Western Pennsylvania? Stay tuned to learn more about our current special offers.
It's our Spring Into Savings event. Save $500 on new windows, ask about 9 months same as cash financing, and receive a $50 Macy's gift card with purchase. But call 1-800-433-8577 right now and we'll double it to $1,000 off, double it to 18 months same as cash, and double it to a $200 Visa gift card. Valley homeowners, call 1-800-433-8577. That's 1-800-433-8577. Call Window Depot now.
Make Old Dutch Mill Golf Course and Halliday's Winery in Lake Milton your favorite fun time stops. There's something for everyone, from quality golf to great wine, food, live entertainment, and beautiful scenery. Halliday's and Old Dutch Mill are ideal venues for friends, family, reunions, parties, and receptions. There's never a dull moment at Old Dutch Mill Golf Course and Halliday's Winery in Lake Milton. Check out OldDutchMill.com and HallidaysWinery.com for this week's events.
Ever notice how some liberal judges use their political views to make court rulings?
I've read what the law says, but I have a different idea. Order, I say.
This is Caitlin Dickey. That's wrong. People like that have no business on the bench. I say we need more judges who respect the Constitution.
As a former court magistrate, conservative Republican Caitlin Dickey should know.
As a prosecutor, I've seen the fight against crime up close. As your next judge, I'll give criminals the sentences they deserve.
But there's more. As a dedicated criminal prosecutor, Caitlin Dickey knows the importance of keeping our communities safe. Caitlin Dickey is endorsed by Republican leaders, including a former county party chairman, a mayor, and other local elected officials. Experience we need as a former court magistrate and dedicated criminal prosecutor. Vote conservative Caitlin Dickey for judge. Paid for by Dickey for Judge.
Find out more about how you can help to improve our air quality. Get today's air quality forecast and the extended forecast. Help preserve the air you breathe for you and your family. You need it to live, and you use it every day. MahoneyValleyAir.org. Information for your future.
Right now is the time to check out FairwayFordOhio.com for new Ford Escapes and Explorers. They're all on sale. See us at FairwayFordOhio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
We can give our children a strong economy and a clean environment. The future is in our hands. Fair and responsible energy reform for today and tomorrow. The Ohio Clean Air Program ensures more clean energy generated in Ohio by Ohioans for Ohio. By modernizing our environmental goals, we encourage the growth of Ohio-made energy from wind, solar, and other sources that reduce carbon dioxide in our air. And by investing at home, not in other states, we will create new jobs and a better economy, helping Ohio families and entrepreneurs. The Ohio Clean Air Program improves our environment, creates jobs, and lowers what you pay for electricity. It's time to reform Ohio's energy goals. Protect what's precious. Call your representative at 800-282-0253. Encourage them to support the Ohio Clean Air Program. Don't let out-of-state profiteers continue to steal Ohio's jobs and our children's future. Paid for by Generation Now, Inc.
You know, there are more than 34 million American smokers. Now, I'd bet that finding a satisfying alternative to cigarettes is at the top of your list if you're a smoker. Look, I've been there before. But after many years of smoking, I finally made the switch to Juul. There's no more worrying about the way my clothes smell, worrying about what people are going to say. With Juul, everything is so much easier. Now, Juul is a vaporizer that contains nicotine for a satisfying transition. When I found Juul, it was a complete game changer. Now, Juul was designed by smokers for smokers to be an alternative to cigarettes. From its simple-to-use interface to its clean technology, well, Juul has no cigarette ash, odor, or mess. So if you're one of the 34 million adults who smoke, know that there is an alternative to cigarettes. Now, to discover the smoking alternative that's nothing like you've tried, visit JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. That's JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. And warning, this product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. Text message: would you offer personal recommendations on a Mac configuration to create video, Final Cut Pro, on an iMac platform? Okay, so just during that break, I saw that come through, and I went over to the Apple Store just to pick a middle-of-the-road, something I would purchase anyway, even if it weren't video in mind. And so sort of the 22-inch version of an iMac, it's $1,300. It's an iMac, so it's the display included in that. We got 3.6 gigahertz quad-core 8th generation i3 processor. That's a little low. I'd probably bump that up to an i5. And let's see. The next thing is 8 gigs of memory, which is plenty. 1 terabyte hard drive, which is plenty. Radeon video card, which is plenty. And then the Retina display. So that, and then I have to go over to the minimum system requirements for Final Cut, and I want to make sure that whatever my processor I picked was okay, and it absolutely is. So it needs 4 gigs of memory, which 8 came in that configuration. You know, a basic OpenCL graphics card, which that come with a 555, so it's plenty. It needs 256 megs. So in all of the spaces that I would make sure resources were available, the basic configuration, the $1,300 configuration, hit it all. Now, personal requirements. Everybody who I know that does video goes to something that's more beefy than an iMac. And I know an iMac can handle it, and especially an upper-end i7, but most people who design and develop, they'll pull a Mac Pro or something like that. So my recommendation is going to be an iMac. I'm with you that I think it should be an upper tier, maybe one level above, the one that I mentioned, the $1,300. Maybe I'll go up to the $1,500 one. And it would come, And also, I wanted to mention too this: that hard drives are a little bit concerning with the iMac. They're really in love with these Fusion drives, and I really don't like Fusion drives. Maybe someone out there has better experience than I have. Basically, a Fusion drive couples some solid state space along with some mechanical space. And, I figure once we have where solid state space have come down pricing wise, that everybody would just bail on the mechanical side because it's not a superior technology and you're not shaving that much cost off of there. So if I'm going to go with a terabyte of hard drive space, I'm not going to do Fusion. I'm basically going to do a solid state drive and a mechanical drive in a separate container, because if that mechanical drive dies, what's going to happen to the solid state stuff that's part of that drive? So again, I'd prefer to have it swapped out or separated out. Okay, 330-729-9977, or you can text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Hi, this is Don Perkins from A1 Concrete Leveling and Foundation Repair. A1 raises and stabilizes sunken concrete for a fraction of replacement costs. Solve trippers, sinking, or drainage problems, and most projects allow same-day usage. Let our experienced levelers save your concrete from further settling and cracking. Estimates are free, and we are now offering 0% financing for 12 months, same as cash. Call 330-788-2700 or check us out at a1now.com.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. Mahoney County Democratic Party Chairman David Beatrice is resigning. Beatrice cited wanting to spend more time with his family and law practice. He says he believes the party's in a strong position and will help his successor become familiar with the position. His resignation takes effect on May 15th. A concerned community member in Shenango Township tipped off humane agents in Mercer County. The Humane Society of Mercer County says nearly 60 dogs were found in a home raid on Grange Road in Shenango Township last night. About 10 of those dogs were found dead. The homeowner has not been identified and will be facing 10 felony charges of animal cruelty and numerous misdemeanors. A Mineral Ridge man is charged with making and selling homemade explosives without a license. Undercover agents made purchases from Donald Phillips. Phillips was arraigned on the charge Thursday. He's being held without bail. Agents were tipped off back in February. Small Shop Hubbard happens today. It's an event to bring people to downtown. Small Shop Hubbard started back in 2016 as a way to get foot traffic to the stores that were at walking distance of one another. Since then, 30 shops have been added to the list of small businesses. The event happens till 4 p.m. today, rain or shine. And it's free fishing days on Ohio public waterways. Ohio's free fishing days are open to all Ohio residents and extend to all of Ohio's public waterways, including Lake Erie and the Ohio River. The fishing days happen today and tomorrow. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 3. Cool your home for summer. Call Maz's Air Conditioning in Girard. 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Cloudy skies into this evening. Still a slight chance of a late day shower, the high 65. Tonight, cloudy evening and overnight showers, a low in the mid 40s. Chance of showers early on Sunday, then partly sunny with a high near 70. Monday, mostly sunny and warm with a high 75.
Menards has the automotive products you need and the saving you want, because nobody beats our prices. Keep your engine running smoothly with Shell. Rotella Heavy Duty Motor Oil provides triple protection to control wear, deposits, and emissions. It's great for new or old engines. And right now, a gallon of Shell Rotella Heavy Duty Motor Oil is just $12.79. Plus, a Menards gift card is perfect for Mother's Day. Stop in and save through May 5th during the Menards Spring Catalog Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Quiet, comfort, and affordability. The most important things when choosing a place to live. Westchester Square Apartments offers something to fit every need and budget. 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio apartments. They rent apartments, but they sell convenience. You can find luxury living at Westchester Executive Apartments, 1,200 square feet of upscale living with carports, or independent senior living at Westchester Commons, strategically located in the center of Austintown, right next to Route 11. For the perfect apartment, call 330-799-5758. Come and be a good neighbor in a community of good neighbors. Westchester Square Apartments, Austintown.
Hi, this is Bob Davis, and Fairway Ford in Canfield is the #1 Ford F-Series truck dealer everywhere within the sound of my voice. And now we are Ford's newest commercial vehicle center, too. See our commercial experts for F-250s, F-350s, F-450s, and F-550s. Fairway has dualies, dumps, utility, stake, and flatbeds. Fairway Ford has them all on sale. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251. 1-800-257-5251.
I have known the folks at Simply Safe for a long time. They're the only ones doing home security right. Simply Safe has round-the-clock, 24/7 professional monitoring and police dispatch. They cover every door and window in your home with small sensors and no wires. There's no contract, no hidden fees, just $15 a month for complete protection. Go to simplysafeusa.com to get 10% off your system. That's simplysafeusa.com.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We're talking about some hardware stuff today, some theory about goes into what picking out these products. A lot of you don't even consider what we're talking about, and that's because you go in there kind of a little bit more blind than you should, because you don't really know what these things do. And so you just go pick a good one that gets 4 stars or 5 stars on the reviews, and you're just hopeful that it's serving you the way that it is. And so if you take extra considerations and learn a little bit about what the components do, then you might be able to shave a little bit of cost off of there. And then, so, the computers that I buy, I like to survive for 5 years. I like them to last 5 years before I replace them. So I plan on spending about $200 per year in having them. So I have $1,000 to spend every 5 years on a machine. And I buy the best machine I possibly can every 5 years. If I get 6 years out of a machine, where I had this one iMac where I bought in 2009, and it survived, and it's still being used in a really tiny capacity now. But I mean, I got 10 years out of this stinking thing, and now it cost me a little bit more. I think I paid about $1,500 for it when it was new, but I got 10 years out of it. So if you divide that out, I still got in that realm, in that budget that I set out. Text message: Hey Joe, you got a great show. Listen to you all the time, but I have a question for my mother. I got a question for you. My mother has a Lenovo. I believe it's a desktop with a Pentium 3 processor in it. There's nothing on the floor. All the guts are in the computer where the screen is. About 5 years or 5 or 6 years old, 5 or 6 maybe. Every time she turns it on, it wants to update, and it takes about 20 to 25 minutes, and the computer is getting really slow. She only uses it for maybe receipts on the internet, or she doesn't even play games on it anymore. I was just wondering anything could be done, or maybe it's time to get rid of it and get a new one. Thanks for your time, Dave. All right, Dave, thank you for being out there first off. And it's really, there's different philosophies that you buy into. So if you want to if you don't mind buying computers, right? So you're not very customized, you don't have much stuff on there. You want to shop for the lowest cost computer that you possibly can, especially if she's not doing much on there. If it's all web stuff, you want to just go low cost on it, because you're going to do it more often, but it's not going to matter, right? But if your mom, when she gets a new computer, you have to spend a bunch of time over there installing her stuff, and it's really taxing, then you want to not do it as often and be able to buy a little bit into the future, so that maybe every 5 years you're doing it instead of every 3 years doing it. My threshold, if you buy into the Joe philosophy, okay, I know what I want computers to last. I know how long I want it to last. I know what I want to spend on them, and I know what kind of risk that I'm taking when I buy certain components. Do I want something that is I'm going to cause a bunch of problems and blue screens, but it's going to perform really well. No, I don't. I'm willing to give a little performance up for a little bit of consistency, where something that is not going to just be problems where it locks up, problems where it's blue screens, and so on and so forth. So I will specifically avoid buying certain components that maybe have a 1% chance of giving me problems down the road. But it's going to cost me in some performance that I didn't go after the highest performing one to avoid the consistency and the dependability of a computer. But that's a Joe philosophy. I don't like being annoyed by having to do this more often than necessary and that it not work when I show up to get work done. I like things just to work when I go there. I don't want to put a lot of time into it. One of the big complaints on the commercial side is that when problems start happening, you have people that are supposed to be making money selling insurance or, making sales phone calls. And you know what they're doing? They're worrying about technical things, computer things. Well, and I want you to almost take me for granted. I want you to think that, I must not do anything around there because you just go in and use your computer and and it's not a big deal. But if you've got a salesperson that spends 2 hours every day complaining about their computers, look at the opportunity cost. That person is not doing what they're made to do. They're worrying about something that's sitting in front of them. And that's what I'm saying. At least from a commercial side, we sell the same level of computer only because I want to sell you a computer. I want to put it on your desk, and I want every day that person to just be able to use the computer and not need me. The best business model that I can tell, even anybody that's starting out in the computer field, is the lack of dependence. Make your customers free to shop anywhere and have that endless freedom. Right? And they will rely on you more heavily because they trust you that it's not a never-ending sales pitch. Don't sell them something that makes them beholden you and have to keep coming back to you because literally you're a dentist to them. They don't want to deal with you only as often as they need to. So make those interactions better by snipping those dependencies. And we've done it a long time. And you notice we don't really, advertise for new customers at this point. We really like the customers that we have. And I like the fact that they become generational. We do more off of the referrals from the people that we already have. We don't really need to bring in any new customers. And it's that strategy where I just take care of the people that I have right now rather than, the pursuit of tracking down, new customers. I'm really happy with them. They're really happy with me, and we serve them. We've been serving them, for years. So to answer your question, if it's about 5 or 6 years old, if you're buying into the Joe philosophy, it's time. It's technically possible to resurrect something that's aged and to bring it back to life. I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want to fuss with it. If you got lots of time and you don't mind messing with it and you like tinkering, then sure, you can resurrect it. You can replace some components, put some memory in there, get a new hard drive, reload the operating system. There's a whole lot of things that you can do to maybe bring it back to life so that your mom can use it. It's all dependent on you. But from a practical, logical deal, let me give this example and this story. So I had an employee that, you know what a network card is, right? There's this little expansion card that you put in a computer and it connects you to the internet. They cost about $7.50, right? And so when one of those breaks, they could be fixed. You can find out what's broken on it and you can fix it. How much time would you put in to repairing a $7.50 network card? Well, the answer is zero time, because no matter how much time you spend on it, it costs you less to replace it than it would be when it would be to fix it. So I had an employee early on that repaired a network card. And he was so proud of himself that he repaired a network card because that's not an easy feat. It's small, there's soldered, and he figured out what was wrong with it, and he resoldered part of the jack that had come loose, and he fixed it. And he spent an hour on it. So if I bill it out at an hour of his time versus if I've spent just to replace it, which do you think would have come out ahead? Well, he would have come out ahead had we just put a new $7.50 video card in. Because not only did he put his time into it, he wasn't working on something else at the same time. And so whereas it's possible to do, unless you have a bunch of free time, it's usually not a good trade in value to take a computer that's older than 5 years. As soon as you tell me that computer's 5 years, I start looking at the replacement cost and all of those things. Power supplies start to go bad. Processor fans start to go bad. Hard drive have so much time on them. And so you have like 3 or 4 components that if they failed out, that would be more than half the value of the computer that's sitting there. So would I put $200 into a hard drive on a computer beyond 5 years? that's coin flip. I wouldn't put more than $200 into it. If it's going to be $200, I'd do it. But any more than that, and I'm going to start putting those pennies together. I was already due to buy one. It's after 5 years. I should have $200 that I set aside every year. At 5 years, I have $1,000 to spend. Do I want to spend $200 of that $1,000 to fix that old one up and hope to get a couple more years, or do I want to just spend that $1,000 I've been saving up to buy a new computer? And that's really what it comes down to. So I hope that answered your question. Joe, thank you for the iMac advice. You're very welcome. And we've had these whole PC versus Mac things, debates before. People pick their favorites. They like Linux. People like Mac. People like PC. I use all three, and I use it really all the time. And from a preference standpoint, it's almost like when people pick these favorites, it's almost like their favorite sports team, where they hate Microsoft and love Mac, right? Or they love Mac and hate Microsoft. I think I just said the same thing twice. But anyway, it each has a utility. If you look at my streaming studio downtown, I have 2 Macs and I have 1 PC. And from a standpoint of workload, what do I trust to do what? I trust them all to do the job that I gave them to do anytime. That's why I picked them out for that specific job. So it's not like I can get a couple PCs to do what the Mac's doing, right? But that's not why I picked a Mac out. So again, I consider all of these things just to be tools, utilitarian tools. And if you don't have a place for it, the best money that you can spend is the tool that you can make the most use of. So if you go out and say, hey, Macs are better because I heard it and everybody seems to like it, but I don't know anything about a Mac, you're going to bring it home and you're not going to be able to use it like you do a PC. So you're actually going to be at a bigger disadvantage, not because the Mac can't do it better, it's just you can't make the Mac do it better. And so you're better off using what you know best and constantly increasing your exposure. So if you have a chance to sit in front of a Mac and see what it's like and learn about it, then maybe the next one you buy will be a good choice, because you can do everything that you. And that when you sit in front of a Mac, try to do stuff naturally. Try to get on the internet. Try to launch a program. Try to do stuff that you do on a PC. And if you have no trouble whatsoever, then you can do everything that you can do in a PC world on a Mac. There's just, and usually the question is, well, what does it do better? Does it get infected with viruses? Well, if you get infected with viruses in the PC world and you're spending $1,000 every couple years of cleaning up infections, then yeah, spending $500 more on a Mac seems like it makes sense. It costs you $500 to get a Mac over a PC, and you're spending $1,000 on infection cleanups. Well, guess what? Yeah, that math absolutely works. But if you don't ever get infected on a PC, just for the security, you tell me, would you spend $500 on a bulletproof antivirus that made sure that you don't get infected? That's the logic that goes into this. You're just picking a tool for a job, not joining a fan club, right? So 330-729-9977 is the phone number, 333-1570. And, speaking of streaming, we partner with a bunch of companies. We're always willing to work with people in Youngstown. Everybody's sort of on the same plight. We want to deliver good products to the people of Youngstown. We want to make sure that Youngstown has a go-to person in every field. You know how many contracted jobs that we've had to throw to people that aren't in Youngstown? And that's a little bit of a crime as far as I'm concerned, because I see these kids coming out of YSU, very talented people, and we end up losing them to bigger markets only because the jobs, either there's not an outfit that can utilize them in their specialty, so they have to go elsewhere, or there's just not enough of that work. And as long as I keep, doling out these jobs to people that are outside the city, then I'm not creating that workload. So we're just trying to scrape as much work and to push it through downtown as we possibly can. So our city, we can, retain some of these kids in our area, and they can do what they were educated and designed to do, and what they really want to get, do in this world. So anyway, we started getting really deep into sort of streaming, which meant that logically we had to partner up with marketing companies who help tell the story of people in our valley. So whether it be people who do social media, website development and design, traditional print advertising, media agencies, television, radio, and stuff like that. All of those people are doing what we're doing, which is, you take someone's message and you let the world know about it, right? That's the essential. That's what marketing is. So we partnered up with Advantage Video Productions, and we're getting into streaming events. And what this is if you have something that, in this case, this is a meeting of some kind. So you have a meeting of some kind and you invite everybody down to a facility and they watch this meeting. Somebody goes up to the podium and talks. Well, in some cases, what they have to say spans more than being in a certain place. Some people can't come to Youngstown, Ohio to have this meeting. Some people live in other parts of the country. So through streaming, you can basically put these events, cover them like you would, cameras and audio and video, and the people can watch over the web and, have the same interactions that they would if they were sitting there. And so it doesn't apply to everybody. You're not going to want to take an award ceremony for a college. Well, maybe you would. And better example, you won't want to do your gymnastics ceremony, and you're not going to want to pay to have media coverage on an event. But long and short, we were helping companies broadcast these events over the web, and we've done a good job over the last year of practicing up that craft and that product, so that we're involving camera operators and design people. People that have ability to stream, and then people who have a good knowledge of the equipment that enables that stuff from happening. And I see a pretty good market, especially in our area. We've got a lot of creative people in this area. People that, everything from theater, music, movies, to just graphics creators and people who can cut video and people who know music well enough. We're really strong in that department. And so I'm hopeful that, marketing and media, we could be, the 3D printing and the technology side. I think we're really good at keeping up with the market in general across the country. But I think that we can retain even more people if we get even heavier into, the Yellow Pages showed up at my house this weekend. And I kind of just cocked my head to the side and say, every year I'm so surprised that I still get a Yellow Pages. Why are there people still paying to put their name in the Yellow Pages? Who's reading this crap? Who's using these Yellow Pages for anything? Up until last year, we put our name in there, right? And it's only because years and years and years of doing it just made it almost seem like we had to. There were people that still actually called us using the Yellow Pages. But, the rest of the country and the rest of the world are finding providers of services different than they did in the past. And, Yellow Pages, do you remember? Like, I used to pay $600 a month for a little tiny ad because I was trying to capture part of the demand. When somebody needed something, they went to the Yellow Pages and called people. So AT&T or SBC Global or Ameritech, whoever it was at the time, could charge that because people were using it. It would generate 20 phone calls a day. It was useful. And now, it probably doesn't generate quite as much return as it once did. But that's insane to even think about. $600 a month to make your phone ring in the Yellow Pages. That's kind of crazy. But anyway, we're doing a streaming event on Tuesday from down at YSU. So that should be interesting. I should be able to tell all about that story when we get back from next weekend. That'll have happened on Tuesday. So I'll tell you a little bit more about how that went. And so another capability added to the cap of companies in Youngstown. So very proud of us and what we were able to accomplish. All right, we got one more break here and then one little segment. If you want to get online, 330-729-9977 or text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKDN. We'll be back.
Your house becomes a home with Window Depot.
Valley homeowners trust Window Depot of Youngstown. Our triple pane windows offer unmatched beauty and energy efficiency.
To the hundreds of customers who have trusted us to remodel their home, we say thank you. Hi, it's Rich from Window Depot. Did you know all of our products are made right here in Ohio and Western Pennsylvania? Stay tuned to learn more about our current special offers.
It's our Spring Into Savings event. Save $500 on new windows, ask about 9 months same as cash financing, and receive a $50 Macy's gift card with purchase. But call 1-800-433-8577 right now and we'll double it to $1,000 off, double it to 18 months same as cash, and double it to a $200 Visa gift card. Valley homeowners, call 1-800-433-8577. That's 1-800-433-8577. Call Window Depot now.
Okay, first time we read this commercial, he got one, so I had to get one.
And we are both in love with this product.
The glass chair mat by Vitraza. They're unbelievable.
You know that junky plastic chair mat under your office chair or at home? Piece of garbage.
It's the ugliest thing in your office.
Vitraza glass chair mats are beautiful.
Durable.
Each one will support over 1,000 pounds, so it'll even hold me. They've got a lifetime warranty, and the way you feel rolling over smooth glass instead of cheap, crackly plastic, it's like working in $1 million office. And it's your office.
We got to mention this. Shipping is absolutely free.
Absolutely. Lifetime warranty, scratch-resistant, stylish Vitraza glass chair mats.
You can't get them at the office superstore. You got to order them direct at vitraza.com/talk. That's V as in value, ITRAZZA, vitraza.com/talk. You'll want to remember that website. There's a discount code waiting for you for 10% off, only at vitraza.com/talk.
Hey, folks, spring means it's time to get your land into shape, and that's why you should demo a tractor from my good friends at Mahindra. Their tractors are tough, they're reliable, easy to operate, fuel-efficient, powerful, and backed by a 7-year limited powertrain warranty. And during the Mahindra demo and drive sale, you can get up to $2,500 in cash back and savings on an Emax 20S HST with implement. That's more tractor for your money. Plus, Mahindra has a great family-owned dealer network who can answer all your questions. Learn more about Mahindra's demo and drive sale at MahindraUSA.com for purchase of Emax 20S HST now through June 30th, 2019. Visit your dealer or go to MahindraUSA.com.
Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at Mahindra of Massillon, or visit ProgressiveMahindra.com. That's ProgressiveMahindra.com.
We can give our children a strong economy and a clean environment. The future is in our hands. Fair and responsible energy reform for today and tomorrow. The Ohio Clean Air Program ensures more clean energy generated in Ohio by Ohioans for Ohio. By modernizing our environmental goals, we encourage the growth of Ohio-made energy from wind, solar, and other sources that reduce carbon dioxide in our air. And by investing at home, not in other states, we will create new jobs and a better economy, helping Ohio families and entrepreneurs. The Ohio Clean Air Program improves our environment, creates jobs, and lowers what you pay for electricity. It's time to reform Ohio's energy goals. Protect what's precious. Call your representative at 800-282-0253. Encourage them to support the Ohio Clean Air Program. Don't let out-of-state profiteers continue to steal Ohio's jobs and our children's future. Paid for by Generation Now, Inc.
Hey guys, don't mind me as I interrupt your radio program. It's Sue Cosner, sexual health expert on men's performance in the bedroom. Do me a favor and don't touch that dial. That's a mistake. If you've been listening to this radio station, you've probably heard a compelling radio ad for Noxitril, the potent all-natural male enhancement pill. Men constantly reach out and ask me, does this Noxitril really work? Or is it just another scam product? I can tell you there's nothing better than Noxitril. I recommend this super pill to men everywhere. It will transform your life in the bedroom once and for all. Strong, powerful results that increase your blood flow fast. No prescription, no side effects. Just imagine Viagra on steroids. So call Noxitril now and take advantage of an incredible free bottle offer, shipped discreetly to your door.
To find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril, call 800-217-1579. 800-217-1579. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-217-1579. 800-217-1579.
May the 4th be with you. Celebrate International Star Wars Day with the iHeartRadio original station, May the 4th Radio. The perfect soundtrack, whether you're on the light side
Go Han Solo!
or the dark side. Nothing will stand in our way. Approved by Chewie. Thumbs up, light her up by BB-8. And even Vader loves it. But you wouldn't know it. The guy has no emotion. Your music, your stations, #1 for podcasts. And may the 4th be with you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We had a couple questions during the week about this 5G thing, and going to couple these two things. I haven't quite decided if I'm processing this as an overreaction or if I truly think that this is a dangerous thing that we should be concerned about. But it's one of those on the list of stay tuned with because it's on my radar as far as how I feel about it. 5G is sort of the next generation of mobile communication, and it's a higher frequency bandwidth that has just been sort of opened up for the use of utilities. And 5G is offering more bandwidth and it's faster speeds and so on and so forth. But the concern is that two things. Number one, that the increased frequency is going to start messing with us more than the lower frequencies that we have lots of transceivers already around us. And so again, on the radar, we're going to look to see if if we're building Faraday cages in our homes or going on camping trips just to get away from the inundation of these radio waves. It might be something in the future. My guess is that this extra sort of frequencies that we're exposed to just make more reactions biologically with our nervous system in our brain. Lots more stuff to talk about though. So I'll kind of stay tuned to the show, and as this stuff kind of exposes itself, we'll have our opinion based on what we think you should be concerned about. So again, thanks for joining us on the show today. We'll make sure we check back with you next week. You now listen to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. Have a great week.